As a person who has taken hundreds of flights around the world, I can tell you from my mistakes that there is a right way and a wrong way of packing out your personal item bag for one bag travel. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the various packing methods that differ according to the type of personal item bag you are packing. So stay tuned. Now, I know that you probably never really thought about this because for many years I didn't, but how you pack out your personal item bag for one bag travel really depends on the kind of bag that you're using. While the general theory behind the pack out remains the same, the bag structure really dictates how you construct the bag. So the first thing to discuss is the type of bag you'll be using. Personal item bags can be basically broken into four types of bags. The first is you'll have your backpacks, where you have the main compartment with a big open space and there's external pockets. The second kind is you have a hybrid backpack that has a clamshell opening and external pockets. The third kind is you have a traditional tote or a duffel that has some external pockets. And the fourth kind of bag is you have a tote or a duffel that has a shoe compartment at the bottom of the bag and some organization on the outside of the bag. Each of these bags has a different packing method given the items you're taking with you. Organization is the thing that must be focused on, and you get that organization from packing cubes that you're using. Now, when I say packing cubes, I don't necessarily mean actual packing cubes. It can even be a Ziploc or other small bags. But the main point I want you to take away from this is whatever bag you are using, it should maximize the dimension of your personal item bag. So make sure that your packing cubes are maximizing the footprint of the base of the personal item bag. Now remember that whenever you're traveling with just one bag, you want to Tetris your bag as much as you can, making it easy to find everything. You also want to be mindful that if your bag has a lot of give to it, that you're not overstuffing the bag so that it will not meet compliance. Now, a couple of basic rules. 1, check the weather. There is no room for mistakes. 2, know what if the items, and I'm talking about the clothing. 3, make sure everything mixes and matches and that you fit into it. Also, I will be using compression cubes because when you're working with such a small space, you need compression. Now you can use compression cubes or you can use Ziplocs and push the air out. I actually find using compression cubes work for me, but do what works best for you. So before you start, look over your bag, see what compartments you have and how they can benefit you. So for instance, if you have an external wet compartment, you might want to consider that and use it for your liquids so they're easily accessible. Remember, you are also taking this bag through the TSA, so you want to think about that too. Now, as a general rule of thumb, is what you don't need for the flight, you want to put into an area that is not accessible in the bag. And what you need for the flight should be easy to get to. This doesn't change for any of these bags, so keep that in mind. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using the same pack. For the clothing, I'm going to be using a modified 5-4-3-2-1 method, which is the 4-3-2-1 method, which is 4 tops, 3 layering pieces, 2 pants, and 1 pair of shoes. This will give you enough clothing to go away with for over 1 week while being mindful of the amount of clothing that you're taking. So here are the items I'm going to be trying to get into each of these 4 bags. The first thing I'm going to cover is the clothing. So as I told you before, I'm going to be using a modified 5-4-3-2-1 method, which is now just a 4-3-2-1 method. So that means 4 tops, which I have here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 layering pieces, and this shirt does count as a layering piece and also as a top, 2 pairs of pants, and 1 pair of ballet flats, which I have in here. Also part of this pack is my pajama, 7 pairs of underwear, 7 pairs of socks, and an additional bra. My liquids, which I have compressed down into this 1 bag. My airline comfort bag. My computer. My hair straightener. Of course, a phone. This could be an international trip, and so I'm taking my international plug converter. Spare pair of glasses and sunglasses. And of course, a brush. My crossbody bag, because I'm going to need that to get through the day. And also my scarf / shawl / blanket for the plane, and I'm going to try to keep it on the outside of the bag, but I'm going to make sure that I have room for it on the inside of the bag in case the airline is being very strict. And this is everything that I'm going to be getting into each and every bag. And if you weren't sure you had enough clothing or you felt that I needed a jacket, this is my airline outfit, and that should always count as part of your pack, especially when you're doing a minimal pack. So I have an extra pair of pants here. So really I have 3 pairs of pants, and a jacket that I wear on the plane, and there's a t-shirt under here. So I have a lot of additional clothing just that I'm wearing on the plane. Now, I know you're going to have a ton of questions from me about my packing techniques. And if you do, and you have some other bags that you're curious about, and you don't know how to pack them out, please drop that down in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video in any way, or you've learned anything, or you found any value in it, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below, because that tells YouTube that you really enjoy this kind of content. So with all that information, let's get into how we pack out the various kinds of bags. And the first bag I'm going to be packing out is my backpack. So for those of you who've been following since I first started on YouTube, you'll know that this is the rimless bag. This is the first bag I ever reviewed, and I love this bag, and you'll see why when I unpack this bag, because it holds a ton, and you can definitely go away for a 10-day trip with just this bag. Now I'm going to be reverse engineering all these bags because I think it's just easier to watch. And that way you'll also get an idea of my thought process when I pack out these bags, because it's different for each of these bags. I didn't show this to you before, but just for the fun of it, I included my tech bag because in real life, this is what I do. But some of you would just use that as a water bottle. That's okay. Now let me unbuckle this and let me show you how clever this bag is and how it became one of my favorites. My only single regret is not getting it in cream or black instead of blue, powder blue, but it's not a big deal. I kept it. In the front of the bag, I have a wet compartment. And in that wet compartment, I put my toiletries and my airline comfort bag. 2 reasons. 1, it's right here in front of the bag and it's easy to get to as I'm going through TSA. And 2, it's a wet bag, so if anything leaks, it doesn't get inside the bag. In the back of the bag, I have my computer. Now, some of you might not take a computer, but I do. I also have my emergency set of glasses and my phone. And because I know this bag so well, when I stuff the inside totally full, I never use these front pockets because I want to make compliance and I want to keep everything squishy, as I said before. So now let's move on to the inside of the bag. Now, the key to traveling with one bag is to also keep yourself very organized, because you don't want to be getting to your destination and then have a pile of stuff all over the place. And that's the way I pack out this bag. Now, even though I have all these front compartments here, I don't use them. You can, and if that's what you need to do, then use them. But for this pack, I did not. Now, if you remember what I said earlier on, I was going to make sure that I could keep the scarf inside the bag in case they won't let me hang it off the bag. So here is the scarf inside the bag, along with my crossbody bag, my international plug, my hair straightener, my shoes packed flat, my brush. And in the smaller of the 2 Peak Design bags, I have all my underwear, socks, and even my pajamas in here. And because I do like organization always, in the larger bag, I have my 2 pairs of pants and all my shirts packed Kamari method, so that way I can see what I have in the bag. And now you can see how I got a week to 10 days worth of clothing and all the stuff that I needed into that small bag, just because I thought about the structure of the bag. So now we're going to move on to a clamshell backpack. So this is my Telena bag, and it's a bit of a hybrid backpack. It opens like a clamshell, and I like it for that reason. So let me go over the pockets of the bag and how I pack this bag out, and you'll see how differently I packed this one out compared to the last backpack. Now, I always use the water bottle compartment for my tech, and that doesn't change. Here in the front, because remember I said I'm always worried about things getting too big in the front. All I did was put my phone, because it's pretty stuffed, this bag. And over here in the front, I have my toiletry bag. And over here in this front compartment, I have my spare pair of glasses and sunglasses and my in-flight comfort bag. And that's all I have in the front of this bag. In the back of the bag, I have, of course, my computer. Now, this bag doesn't have any back compartments here, so that's the only thing here in the back. Now, it's on the inside of this bag that the packing gets really different, because, as I said, it opens kind of clam style. So the storage on this side of the bag and the storage on this side of the bag. On this side of the bag, in the top compartment, I put my crossbody bag. In this inner compartment, I have my shoes packed flat this time, and both my pairs of pants. In this way, I have organization. On this side of the bag, I have the scarf that I said I'm going to put into the bag in case they make me take it off. I don't think they will, but you never know. You're going to notice I use 2 different compression cubes. And that's because, as I said before, you pack to the size of the bag. And these compression cubes work better with this bag than the other set did. So I have in this bag all my tops packed Kamari method, again, to keep myself organized, and my pajama, which you'll see here on top, bras and underwear are in this smaller bag. And I have my international plug, my brush, and my hair straightener. And I got all that into this one bag. So now let's move on to a traditional tote bag. Now this is the Quince tote, and it's the larger of the 2 that they have, and I use the large one if I'm doing one bag travel because it maximizes the 18 by 14 by 8. Now let's go through how I packed out this bag. And I'm going to tell you that this tote has a lot of great pockets on the inside. So if you're using it just strictly as a personal item bag, it's great. But when you're packing it out as a one and done for going away with, it becomes a little more dicey because you have to think about the footprint of the bag and you have to think about what you got to get into the bag. So as per usual, I have this tech bag here on the side. And in the front here, I have my spare pair of glasses there. And in the back here, there's another little pocket. I have my phone. And I did not put anything in this front pocket because, again, I'm always worried about compliance and I want to make sure that the bag can do this, and it can. Now let's get on to the inside of the bag. Now this tote comes with an additional tote, and I like that because I can contain everything that I need to in one area. And that's the stuff I either have to get through TSA or I need for my flight. And in this tote, I have my airline comfort bag and my toiletry bag. And underneath that, I have that scarf, blanket, whatever you want to call it. Now, again, I didn't need to put that in this bag, but I like to make sure I can get it in the bag in case they give me a hard time at the airport. Now I'm going to put this bag sideways from this point on so everybody can see what I have going on in here. Now I use the bottom footprint of this bag as my guideline for how I packed it out. Now I'm using my dual-sided packing cube here because it fits the bottom the best. Now you could use 2 compression cubes and achieve the same thing. I don't want to imply that you have to go out and buy all these different kinds of compression cubes, but I'm just explaining to you the theory behind this because this takes up a huge part of the bottom of the bag, and that's what you wanted to do. Now on the side, believe it or not, I still had room. So I put my straightener. It has a compartment for my computer, my brush. I'll take out the bag. And on this side of the compression cube, I have all my tops. And on the bottom side of the compression cube, I have the 2 pairs of pants and all my bra, underwears, nightshirt. It's in here. Also on the side of the bag, I have rolled up my crossbody bag, my international plug, and this time I folded my ballet slippers flat like this, and they were sitting there at the bottom of the bag because I'm not going to be using them on the flight. And that's everything inside this one bag. And again, I want you to understand that I actually thought about what I was doing before I started because I made sure that this footprint kind of fit this footprint. And that makes a big difference here because I'm maximizing the use of this bag. Now onto our final bag, which is a hybrid duffel with a shoe compartment. Now I have several of these kind of hybrid bags. I have this one, which is a cheapie from Amazon. I have a beige bag, which they call a smaller weekender bag. And I think I have another one that's smaller than this one from Amazon. And there's a good reason I love these bags. And when I start to unpack it, you'll understand why. So I'm going to start from the bottom of the bag because that's where all the magic happens. And when you go to pack out any bag, you have to think a little bit out of the box and look at what you can do with a bag. Now, this is a great little trick I'm going to show you. And when you see it, you're going to go, God, I love that. So let me show you. So here at the bottom of the bag, I have all my clothing packed out, Kamari method, so I can see it clearly. And I have no packing cube. This is my packing cube. Now this, I think, is outstanding because that means it frees up a lot of room on the inside of this bag. So let's get to the inside of this bag. Now in the front of the bag, I have my spare sunglasses and glasses and my phone. They have two nice pockets here that they can reside in. And that makes life just so much easier. And it's not putting a pile of stuff in the front of the bag because you don't want this bag to get too fat. Now I packed out the interior of this bag differently from all the other bags because I want you to start to think in a whole different way. Now I know that when everybody thinks of packing, they think of their bag as a bottom layer, a mid layer, a top layer for the things that you have to get to quickly. But that does not necessarily have to be the case because in this bag, I packed everything sideways because that worked the best for this bag. So you'll see here the computer, the shawl, my airline comfort bag, this cube containing all the other underwear, socks, and pajamas. And over here in the wet compartment, because it does have a wet compartment, is my toiletry bag. And on the side, this time, is my tech bag, which still leaves this pocket here as a water bottle compartment. Now also, because this left a whole pile of room here on this side, are my shoes, the international plug, at the bottom my brush, and my hair straightener. And that's everything I'm gonna need to go away with for 7 to 10 days. And now that you've seen me pack bags that approximate 18 by 14 by 8, but you wanna see me pack a bag that's even smaller, check out this video over here, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.